Thank you, panel. My name is Karen Palmer from Pennsylvania. I'll probably need to apologize in advance for anybody that I may offend through what I have to say this afternoon. I'll keep it very brief. As you know, we were able to submit letters to a gentleman from the FDA, who I thank again, about situations concerning mercury. And so I just have a couple of those that I submitted to share with you. This one was dated July 27th. I handled mercury every day for years as a dental assistant until 2 years ago when I was diagnosed with heavy metal toxicity to mercury and lead. I'm no stranger to neurotoxicity, for I am still numb on the entire left side of my body. Chelation takes care of the detox, but what about the overall damage as a result of being toxic? What a false sense of security all those years of taking precautions with wearing a mask only to learn that the vapors go right through it. Much to my discredit, I now know more about mercury toxicity than in all those years when I was working with it. Where and when were all the continuing education courses to warn us of the dangers? My former boss is still in denial of all that's happened to me and continues to place amalgam every day. He thinks I've been misdiagnosed and still haven't found the real cause to all my problems. He worships the ADA and thinks he is protected from any backlash or lawsuits because he's a longstanding member and they maintain it's safe unless you are allergic. What I have is no allergy. It is criminal that they are allowed to cover up and mislead and misinform. What's it going to take to wake up everyone on this? It's so sad that people are not given all the information in order for them to make informed decisions for themselves. Mandatory informed consent would help, and it's a start. And some states have it, but not all are on board. Pennsylvania is one of the worst, lagging way behind on current information. As crazy as it sounds, Oprah Winfrey gets quicker results and responses than the entire federal government daily, with over 40 million viewers just in this country alone. How sad. What's in your mouth? Got mercury? August 21st, another letter to the FDA. I was diagnosed with heavy metal toxicity from mercury and lead in May of 2003. After a full year of testing, I was told at one point that I had MS because of the sensory disturbances. Neurotoxicity and toxic neuropathy is no allergy, as the ADA would like us to believe. I gave the best years of my life in a profession as a dental assistant, taking all the precautions with gloves and masks and glasses, only to learn that the mercury vapor goes right through it. Optimal ventilation is so key, or so I've come to learn, not minimal, which is what most offices have. Patients should be given the information on the MSDS sheets. The doctors that still insist on using amalgam silver mercury fillings because the ADA still says it's safe is causing great harm to themselves, staff, and patients. Many months of chelation have lowered my toxic levels, thank God, and I am so encouraged. All the paresthesia, neuropathy, and the chronic fatigue I continue to endure. What's it going to take for all involved to wake up? Nobody wants to be held accountable for all the damage that has been done and allowed to occur and continues to go on. I had silver fillings in my teeth. My former employer said my levels didn't come from my mouth. Afraid of backlash, he still continues to place the mercury restorations. Do you see and hear how huge of a crisis this is at hand? People in the environment are being ruined. Please make it stop, starting with the ADA. Enough already. There are other safer materials to use, but not as easy to place and not as quick and more costly. The dental insurance companies want to pay for the least expensive, and so the doctors are, in effect, letting the insurance dictate treatment, which they claim to never do. So involving and confusing. No wonder no one wants to open this can of worms, so to speak. The deception that is allowed to continue is nothing short of criminal. Mercury is a neurotoxin, brain poison, that does not belong in any form, ethyl, methyl, organic, inorganic, no safe amount in the human body. nor do the fish that we can no longer eat or the vaccines that are supposed to protect us. I could go on and on. What's next? No swimming? It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the ground, but placing it directly in the mouth, 2 inches from the brain, is just ludicrous beyond reason. The old argument, but it's been used for 100 years without any problems. Buzz, wrong answer. Just because the ADA says it so doesn't make it so. And who are we and who is their peer review? Everyone has a boss, and that is where the FDA should step in and set the high and mighty ADA straight once and for all.
I'm going to interrupt you.
On September 6th of 2006, Karen Palmer testified before the Dental Products Panel and the Central Nervous System Drug Advisory Committee of the Food and Drug Administration. Their purpose was to consider the validity of the so-called FDA Draft White Paper that purportedly reviewed recent research into the safety of dental amalgam mercury. They voted 13-7 to soundly reject the dentists often heard but never supported claims of safety. To date, patients and dental personnel are still not being warned or even told there's mercury coming out of every mercury silver tooth filling implant. Karen Palmer continues to suffer the symptoms of her occupational injury by mercury and is currently on job-related disability. She is appealing the dismissal of her lawsuit against the FDA that helped precipitate these hearings. Thousands of other dental employees and students just like her continue to be injured. Her injury was and is 100% preventable. In the United States, we have stringent occupational health and safety laws that when it is reasonable to assume that exposure is likely, the employer shall give employees informed consent, provide protective equipment and training in how to prevent or minimize exposure. The employer shall monitor and record all incidents of exposure and maintain records for a minimum of 30 years available for OSHA inspection. Only a very few of the more than 100,000 dentist employers ever comply with these long-standing laws because OSHA has refused to enforce them.